Okay. Welcome to part 2 of the Camp Michaux exploration video. Now, I just came down from the barn wall where we were at, looking at that information board. I just came down through the woods, and right out there's the road. Probably would have been easier, but there's something down here I saw, these steps. Now, there's nothing that I know of that was in here, but these steps obviously went to somewhere. So I'm thinking there was a building or something right here. I don't know what. It might have been one of the maintenance buildings, possibly. It's hard to say. This area is still very overgrown, and they haven't really done anything here in this area. Hopefully they will come through here and clean up all this overgrowth and brush and everything. There's probably a lot of stuff over here to see. You can see something right here, maybe some kind of storm drain or something. Maybe, it's hard to say without seeing the whole thing. I'm just guessing. It looks like maybe a place where water would have ran down. So I'm gonna go out now. Over here across the road there's something else that wasn't here last time that I was up here looking around. They recently cleared this area out, and I don't really know what it is, but I see some things here, and I can only guess. There's these, here you'll see, these posts right here. You see these posts with the holes in them. There's one there. And there's one there. That one has a lag bolt, an old lag bolt in it. And then there's another one. You can see where the bolt was there. And then there's another one. There's a few of these things. I think there's 5. I think there's 5 total. And, you know, like I said, I'm not sure what this was. What it looks like to me is it looks like things you'd see like maybe in a parking lot. Maybe these posts were here. Maybe there were like boards that ran, you know, from one to the other, or ropes or cables. Like you see, you know, you used to see that in parking lots a lot of times. I don't know if this was a parking area. I don't know what these posts were for, with those bolts in them. I don't know. Maybe if anyone knows what this is, can leave a comment on this video and let me know. I'd love to know, you know, as much as I can find out about this place. But this area here has just recently been cleared out. And right up there, you can't see, but you see that yellow gate. Right in front of that yellow gate, well, I'll get back to that then. There was a cabin. It used to be a cabin there. But here's the entrance to the main camp. This is the main camp entrance right here. This is right Michaux Road right here. So this was the main entrance to the camp. This is where the sign would have been during the CCC camp and the church camp. I don't think there was a sign for the POW camp because no one knew about it at the time. So that was kept hush for a long time. And there's the parking lot. That's where we started. Now over here in this area that's in front of us now, I'm not going to go in here and walk around, but there are some, you can see some concrete things sticking up out of the ground here or there. So I'm guessing there was also stuff over here. Like I said, I'm not going to walk over there right now because there's really nothing to see. But here's the main camp. Here's the entrance coming in. And you can see this. I like this old stonework. You can see this was like a little stone wall here coming in. And it's all buried by sediment and stuff from over the years. But, you know, it's been paved who knows how many times. But this was a little stone wall here built by the CCC as you're coming into the camp. And it comes around, and then it wraps around. And this is the first building you would have come to. Now, this building was during the CCC camp, this was the forestry office. And during the POW camp era, it was the interrogation building. And then when it was the church camp, it was the main office. I think it was like the officers' quarters or the main office for the church camp. And, they really cleaned this up nice. This wasn't like this before. Before, this was all overgrown, and they came in here and cleaned this up really good. You can see, almost the whole thing. You can even see over here the grounding rod from when the electric was here in this former building. But this building here I don't know if this was the cause, but this seemed like this was kind of like the catalyst for the church camp leaving, because this building burnt down in 1969, I believe. It burnt down, and the church camp, I guess, wanted the state to pay to have it rebuilt, and the state said, no, it's not our responsibility, it's yours. And the church didn't want to rebuild it, or didn't have the money. I don't know exactly what the case is, but neither the state nor the church wanted to pay to have this rebuilt. So after the 1972 camp season, the church chose to not renew their lease and left this here, and that ended everything that was up here. Once the church left, I think the building sat for 2 years, I believe, until like 1974, 75 maybe, and then they said, a lot of the buildings were torn down. Some of the stuff was auctioned off, maybe the stuff inside the buildings and stuff. But yeah, this building caught on fire because it said the cause was a faulty furnace. And once this burnt down, not long after that, the church ended its lease, and that was it. So, and I don't know if I'm right or not, I think that stone thing there in the middle, I've always thought that was like the base to a fireplace. I think this might have been one of those buildings that had one of them nice big open fireplaces. And at least that's my opinion. And that was the base to the fireplace. That was like the floor. Because the rest of the floor, I imagine, would have been wood. Probably a wooden floor. Except that thing there. I think that was the base, the bottom to a big fireplace. If anybody knows, like I said, please comment. Or if anyone has any ideas or suggestions. But yeah, and I'm guessing the rafters, the floor joists would have run from there to the walls. But that's my thought. So yeah, this was the forestry office. And now we're back. This is the main road. This actually was a road. If you look at older pictures, this was the main road going into the camp. And doesn't look like much now, but you can see there's still macadam there. And it's still fairly wide. You could easily get a vehicle in here even today. I'm sure the DCNR does when they need to, when they're doing work. They have a lot of this area nice and cleaned up now. And up here on the right, here, any second, this is like a kind of like a memorial. It's to the POW camp, and it's very, very hard to see what it says because the concrete's rough and it's got all kinds of moss and stuff on it. But there is writing on it. It says third service comm, I believe, and there's like a little crest mark there, and there's some dates on it too. It says POW there in the middle. You can barely make it out. If you want to see what it looks like, I'll try to find a picture of it and put it up. But if I can't, if you want to see what it looks like, just Google it, and you can find pictures online that people edited and cleaned it up so you can see what it says. And this was built sometime right at the end of the POW camp or shortly thereafter the POW camp, because there's pictures of kids from the church youth camp posing next to it. So it has been there for a while. Now here's a walkway. We're right across the path on the other side from that marker we just saw. This is like a little retaining wall coming down, and I imagine at one point this looked really nice. They probably had flowers planted in there and stuff. But this goes down to what was the education building, and there's a foundation down here. You can see the foundation, and there's see that retaining wall kind of comes to a point. There's a sidewalk on either side of it going up to the main path, and there's a retaining wall up there in the foreground. It's in really good shape. So this was the former education building for the CCC. And yeah, you can see up here there's this stone-lined ditch. You see this thing down here on this side quite a bit, and I'm thinking it was for like when it would rain really heavy or something, so it would channel all the water and direct it down towards Tom's Run. But you can see it. It's hard to see, but you can still see it. And there's a couple of them you'll see here and there throughout the camp. But I just think that's pretty cool. You can still see this stuff, and it's still there. And we follow it up. And then up here, there's another thing I found. This is some kind of marker. It's in the shape of the keystone, and then it looks like there was some kind of plaques in it at one time. I searched the internet for this. I couldn't find any information. No one seems to know when it was put here, by who, or when. It was just found when they started to clean the area up. And down here, this wasn't here for the CCC camp. This was put in for the church camp. This was the bathhouse and a latrine. And you can see where there were toilets on the floor. There's you can see where a row of toilets were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it looks like. And then it looks like shower stalls may have been in those other things, if there's other dividers there. And at least, those look like where toilets were, at least to me. Toilets have those flanges that the bolts, that the toilet bolts to. And there's a drain. I'm guessing those are probably individual shower stalls, maybe. I don't know. There's no drain in there. And that might have been where you came in, where the door was. I mean, I can only guess, since these buildings aren't intact anymore. It's hard to say. And there's another drain there, and then this one, the area right here, it's like some kind of long ditch with, looks like drains in them. So who knows who knows exactly what that was for. But the thing I looked at said that this was the shower house and latrine. And this was built for the church camp. The first time I came here to look at this stuff, this thing was just covered in moss and ferns, and